Okay, welcome back, culinary arts students. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy Monday. Um, let's jump on in here. So we're doing vegetable cookery. I'm going to start off with a joke. Okay, before I get into the learning target, you said we can grow our own food. So where are the hot dog seeds? I appreciate that.
Mr. Fritz, what are you, the king of bad jokes?
The king of bad jokes. That's what I am. Okay, so our learning target, right? I mean, how many of you guys would eat a hot dog over a vegetable? All right, yeah. So we're some in the room. All right, so our learning targets this week. We will learn and apply basic vegetable cookery techniques. All right. Okay, so vegetable cookery. Yeah, good. I'll look forward to seeing that. Thank you. Vegetable cookery is what we're focused on this week. You'll see vegetable cookery materials, and then there's a vegetable cookery music option here in Google Classroom because you know how I roll. I've got some vegetable cookery songs for you, and then as well, here we go. Why do potatoes make great detectives?
Why?
Because they always keep their eyes peeled.
Mr. Fritz, what are you, the king of bad jokes?
What do you use to carry? It's important, Joe. You gotta learn this, Joe. It's gonna be on the quiz. What do you use to carry potatoes? A tater toast. All right. Nice. That was good. You, Joe.
What do you, what do you,
Okay. Ryan, keep your hands, Ryan. Keep your hands to
you won't
yourself.
shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start.
All right, Ian. You guys simmer. Let's go. Hey, sit down. Sit down.
Walking,
Sit
guys.
down. All right, let's settle down. Okay, garlic mashed potatoes is what we're preparing this week. All right. And then your ruby. Okay, so. All right, so we have two Ruby lessons going on. One is how to roast vegetables, and the other one is cooking vegetables in water. Okay, so you got two of them. Make sure you complete both, insert both screenshots, and add those both to the yellow box combined. When it comes to vegetable cookery, okay, and obviously potatoes aren't necessarily representative of this. There's certain vegetables that hold up really good in cold storage. I mean, potatoes, I've got like sweet potatoes sitting on my countertop. They're sprouting. There's nothing wrong with them. You know, I mean, you just break those off, you peel them, and you cook them. You know, there is a starch and sugar ratio that changes as they sit for a long time. There is also dehydration that will take place. Anybody had a potato, ever had a potato that is sort of spongy because it's just sitting around too long? You know, they get sort of to a point that they're not necessarily the best thing to eat, but there's nothing really wrong with it. The shelf life of potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes is really good. So there's a lot of vegetables that are very durable and hold up over a long period of time. There's a lot of vegetables that are very perishable and hold up not over a long period of time, over a short period of time. All right, are you done? All right, so if you look here, this is what's called a seasonality chart. And one of the things that I always encourage, like what is an example of a vegetable that's in its prime right here, right now, this time of the year? What do you often see what vegetable do you see at the table during Easter often? What vegetable?
Oh,
apple.
Carrots.
All right.
Vegetable guys.
Carrots come in later in the spring, but what vegetable is coming in right now? It's green. Somebody said
Oh, celery. Spinach. Asparagus.
asparagus. There you go. All right, folks, let's focus here. All right, so asparagus. So one of the things about seasonal vegetables is if you buy something that's in season, you're going to find that the price point goes down, right? Because there's an abundance of it, right? So as asparagus, permeates the market, and there becomes an abundant supply of it, the result is the price goes down. So you're going to find asparagus, one bundle for $2 or $3 in the grocery store, whereas normally it's going to be like double that price. Okay. Now we in America, we've got a mentality because we've got the benefit of transportation, right? Mostly trucking. We're willing to grow. What two states do you think the majority of our fruits and vegetables grow in? California and Florida. Nice job. So California and Florida, the majority of our produce that is domestically grown grows in those two states, and then it's distributed, okay, to other states. And so it gets picked early. It's not in its prime. The flavor profile is questionable, okay. And one of the things you want to be thoughtful about is buying things that are in season, okay. Is gonna increase the quality of your dining experience. The flavor of it is going to be better, and the price point is going to go down. Okay, so buying fruit and vegetables when they're in season is definitely something to consider. Who's been to a local farmer's market? All right, great way to get exposed to fresh produce. And right now would be a prime time. You'll see asparagus pouring into farmers markets. From Willamette Valley, from Yakima Valley, and they'll be going into local farmers markets, and the price point's going to be pretty good right now. Going into this early spring period. Okay, the other thing to think about is eating based on the color of the vegetables and fruits. Okay, so different colors of fruits and vegetables have different attributes, and so you're going to find certain colors. You might find blueberries, right, that are purple or bluish in color that are really high in antioxidants, and so you're going to find different types of items have different attributes that if you consider, okay, well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables, factoring in color is a good part of that decision-making process. So you might look at something white because it's got a higher concentration of vitamin A in it. All right. So all of that is something to consider when you talk about sort of the spectrum of color. Okay. What are our favorite vegetables? Just yell them out to me. Broccoli. What are our favorite vegetables? Okay, sticking with vegetables. Okay, there's a difference between fruit and vegetables. So I'm just in the vegetable realm here.
Potatoes.
Huh?
Bell pepper.
Sorry, all right. So what else? Potatoes, right? Yeah, a lot of people love that. Who likes a sweet potato?
All right.
What about who likes cabbage? Who likes Brussels sprouts?
Nobody.
All right.
Nobody.
All right. Yeah, Violet does.
What?
All right. What about green beans? Who likes green beans? All right. Not a lot of green bean lovers. What about what other vegetables are there?
Cauliflower.
Yeah. What about like a roasted head of cauliflower? That's good, right? Okay.
Are you recording me, Ian?
All right. So, seasonalities. Hey, you guys, simmer down. Okay, so seasonality is an important part of it. Cooking in season yields a better quality, peak flavor, lower cost. As I said, when they're in season, nutrient density is a portion of it. They're going to be healthier for you. And obviously, I find that if it's in season, it's going to just simply taste better, present better, be more colorful, be more abundant. And as I said, the price point's important. Concentration of vitamins and minerals and fiber, right? To keep things regular inside, vegetables are an important part of our diet. You want to have consideration yourself personally. If I think about the influence of on our diet of pesticides and whether we choose to eat organic or not, that's something that's a decision that you should do research on. I was talking to a winery in Ridgefield yesterday that my wife and I visited, and that were using their wines in the social kitchen, and they have this full line of grapes that is naturally resistant to pests. And so if you look at lines like that or fruits and vegetables like that are organic in nature, that can sustain to the environmental conflict that they might have, that's going to be maybe a little bit higher in cost, but you're going to get a better quality product and maybe not consuming something that could be cancer causing. A lot of the time, the pesticides that are out there, you've got to be thoughtful about that, just simply because I think there's not a lot of long-term research on a lot of it. You guys use pesticides, Travis, on your winery?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It's complex. Um, so consider, what your opinion is about eating organic or eating pesticides. Independent flavors, like if I want to have something that's going to taste a little bit more bitter, I might introduce cabbage, or brassica family would be Brussels sprouts or things like that, or endive. You want something a little bit sweeter, I might do a beet or rutabaga or parsnip. Proper degree of doneness is important. One of the things that I found that my generation, your parents, they learned how to overcook vegetables a lot. And one of the things that I want to encourage you is we cook. We're looking for these vegetables this week to be cooked until they're very tender. Okay, a mashed potato needs to be cooked until it's really tender. Okay, to get a nice smooth mashed potato out of it. But if you're blanching broccoli or broiling it, I'll take broccoli. Just last week, threw broccoli in a pan, olive oil, salt and pepper under the broiler, 2 minutes, and it's done. Bright green, a little bit of caramelization on it, and very flavorful. So you don't want to overcook it. I find that a lot of the time, like vegetables and stews, people will put them in at the beginning of the cooking process, and they're waiting for the beef to be tender, and they'll allow the vegetables just to be overcooked. So typically, I'll cook with vegetables in the stew, but then I'll leave them whole. I'll remove them after the beef is tender, and then put in fresh vegetables right at the end. Okay, you get the nutrient density, you get the popping of color at the end because you're adding those fresh vegetables, and there you don't get that textural mash, that gross sort of homogeneous texture of the whole beef stew. Consider the water, the starch, and the sugar content of the vegetables is important. When you look at a carrot compared to an onion, which one do you think has a higher sugar content? Yeah, carrot does. Okay, though onions and Walla Walla sweets are going to be higher in sugar than a regular standard yellow onion or white onion, but you want to think about the sugar content because if you're browning those items, more sugar, less moisture, they're going to brown quicker. Whereas, like if you wanted to brown a piece of celery for a brown stock, it's going to take longer to brown celery because it's higher in what ingredient? What do you think? Just celery is very high, not sweet, right? Very high in water, right? And so it doesn't brown as easy. Whereas an onion or a carrot are more dense, higher in sugar, so they're going to brown a little bit faster. Okay, so considering that water, sugar, starch ratio is important, and then also vegetables are a good catalyst. Like cauliflower doesn't have a lot of flavor on its own, but if you just hit a little bit of olive oil and truffle salt on some cauliflower and roast it in the oven, it tastes amazing. Hit it with a little bit of freshly grated Parmesan right when you pull it out. I mean, just you're hitting it on all cylinders there. So using different spices, I love using gochujang or different types of spice blends on vegetables, carrying some heat into them. It's a really great way to maybe build on that neutral flavor of the vegetable and add a little bit of spice to it. And then thinking about that proper seasoning, just good degree of salt and pepper is important in vegetable cookery. All right, so quick Alice Waters video here talking about vegetables.
I challenge you to find what is perfectly in season and ripe, and then just slice it, taste it, and serve it. Recipes are a framework, but the most important thing is the ingredient, where you find it, how you cook it, and how you will turn it into a beautiful meal. I want you to know what food is really alive and seasonal. This is a kind of cooking that nourishes the body and the soul. I want to show you how to buy food in a farmer's market. Talk directly to the people who grow your food. Go to the market before you decide what to cook. That will free you from an overdependence on recipes. Because if you start with really good ingredients, you don't have to do much to them. This is the philosophy of food that we serve at Chez Panisse and the food that I cook at home. We're trying to figure out the best way to serve it and not get in the way of the real taste of that food. You can never think about food in the way you may have thought about it in the past. It's about how to use every part of an ingredient very, very simply. That's the beautiful thing about this delicious revolution. The closer that we get to the source of our food, the better it is for us and for this planet. I'm Alice Waters, and this is my masterclass.
Yeah, so vegetable cookery, just,
I
understanding what is abundant is so important. So here's a quick video by Alton Brown on the garlic mashed potatoes, a little bit of a variation of the one that we're doing. Watch this, and then we'll have some time to work on Ruby.
That nobody else could. I know you did. And I want everybody to know, but I still got that old time feeling for you. We had a love. Yes, we did.
Join us in celebrating 70 years in the U.S. and get exclusive offers on select new Volvo models.
So, enjoying those holiday mashed potatoes? Taste good, do they? But I don't understand. You said, oh, I see, pasty and gummy enough to build a mountain. You know why? Well, when most people mash or whip potatoes, they end up unleashing an oozy, gummy gluiness that's not too appealing. You, want to make some you can actually eat? Well, then come on! Yes, now! First step is the ripe potatoes. Now, any Idaho russet style will do the trick, but I like Yukon Gold. So take 2 pounds of these, peel them, and then cut them into uniform half-inch pieces. Then, move these to a 4-quart saucepan and cover with about 1 inch of cold water. Crank the heat to high and cover. Then, remove the lid and decrease the heat to maintain a simmer. Continue to cook until the potatoes can easily be crushed with a pair of tongs. Now, you're pretty good with those tongs, aren't you? Yeah, well, now drain those potatoes before they overcook. And then get the pot back over here on the stovetop. There, now add 1 stick of butter cut into small pieces, and we want to add 1/2 cup of heavy cream, along with some salt, that's right, a teaspoon of kosher salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Just grind that right in. Go ahead and bring that to a simmer over low heat. Now, spuds, what do you got to mash those things with? I see. Yes, all very nice indeed. But those are the kind of things that get you into trouble. What you really need is a food mill. And if you can find one with exchangeable dies, you'll want to use the one with the smallest holes. Now just place that right over the pot, add about 1/4 of the potato parts and crank away. You know, this wouldn't seem like so much work if you got some exercise every now and then. There. Now, once you've got all the potatoes milled in, just stir to combine with the creamy goodness. But don't overwork them. Just stir to combine. There. Now, those mashed potatoes are so good, you might want to skip the turkey, the dressing, the sweet potatoes, and Vera's congealed carrot salad. Well, you get the point.
All right, so again, what we'll be doing is we'll be tasting the mashed potatoes, evaluating them, then cooling them, we'll package them, and you'll serve them with the chicken stroganoff that you'll make next week. So we're getting into a combination meat cooking methods next week. It's going to be more like a meal you're eating. So I'm excited about moving that to more of an advanced level. So with that being said, just rolling back here to Ruby really quickly. You've got how to roast vegetables and cooking vegetables in water that you want to complete. You want to start working on that today. So go ahead and pull your Chromebooks out.